Hey there, future captains and coastal cruisers. Let's be honest, when you hear international maritime law, you probably imagine a stack of boring paperwork. But here's the truth, knowing the rules of the road on the water isn't just for lawyers or ship captains. It's for anyone who wants to stay safe and have fun out there. Today we're diving into the COLREGs, the international regulations for preventing collisions at sea, and why rule number 1 is the foundation for everything that follows. Whether you're on a mega yacht, a fishing boat, or just paddle boarding, this rule is your first step to safe sailing. Imagine the ocean as the world's biggest group project. If everyone follows the guidelines, nobody crashes and everyone gets home safe. COLREGs are those guidelines, and rule number 1 is where it all begins. It's not just about avoiding trouble with the law, it's about making sure you, your friends, and everyone else on the water can enjoy their day without accidents. So before we get into the nitty-gritty, remember, these rules are here to help, not to hassle. Let's break down rule number 1. Officially, it says the COLREGs apply to all vessels on the high seas and all waters connected to them that are navigable by seagoing vessels. Sounds complicated, right? But don't worry, we'll translate that legal speak into plain English. Basically, if you're on water that a big ship could reach, these rules are in play. No matter what you're floating on, rule 1 is your starting point. So what exactly is a vessel? The answer is simple. If it floats and carries a person, it's a vessel. That means everything from mega yachts to fishing boats, jet skis, and even paddleboards blasting music. If you're on it and it's on the water, you're part of the game. This rule makes sure nobody can claim, "Oh, I didn't know the rules applied to me." Rule 1 isn't just for the open ocean. It covers bays, rivers, lakes that connect to the sea, and even some harbors. If there's a channel that a ship could use to get to the ocean, you're playing by these rules. So whether you're out in the middle of nowhere or just cruising near the coast, rule 1 has you covered. No loopholes, no exceptions. Some people think, I'm just on a lake so the rules don't apply. Not true. If your lake connects to the sea and a ship could theoretically get there, you're under the COLREGs. This is like saying, I'm just in the group chat, not the main room. But if the chat is connected, the rules are the same. Everyone plays by the same standards. Now let's talk about the special circumstances clause. The official text says nothing in these rules excuses anyone from the consequences of neglecting them or failing to take necessary precautions. In plain English, you can't just follow the rules blindly and expect to be off the hook if something goes wrong. You're still responsible for safety no matter what. Think of this clause as your professor saying, the group project guidelines are mandatory, but also don't be an idiot. Even if you're technically following the rules, you're still expected to use your head. If a situation comes up that isn't covered by the rules, or if following a rule would cause an accident, you need to make the safe choice. Rules mention the ordinary practice of seamen. What does that mean? It's basically a reminder to use your common sense. If a rule says turn right, but turning right would run you into a rock, don't do it. Just like you'd look both ways before crossing the street, even if you have the walk signal, you should always double-check your surroundings on the water. Special circumstances cover all the random, chaotic stuff that can happen on the water. If a kid falls off a boat right in front of you, you don't worry about who has the right of way. You dodge the kid. This rule is all about avoiding accidents, no matter what the official guidelines say. Safety always comes first, even if it means breaking a rule. The COLREGs aren't about following rules blindly. They're about using your judgment to keep everyone safe. If you see danger ahead, you're expected to act even if it means bending the rules. The law actually requires you to use your brain and make smart decisions in tricky situations. Here's the quick version. Rule 1 says everyone who floats is in the game and the game is played everywhere. There are no cheats or loopholes. Whether you're in a kayak or a cargo ship, the rules apply to you. And most importantly, you're expected to use your head and avoid accidents, even if it means breaking a rule to do so. Rule 1 sets the stage for everything else in the COLREGs. It's the foundation that keeps the global fleet moving safely. Without it, there would be chaos on the water. By making sure everyone knows the rules apply to them, Rule 1 helps prevent confusion and accidents before they happen. Just because you're in a small boat or on a paddle board doesn't mean you get to ignore the rules. Rule 1 makes it clear there are no cheats. Everyone is responsible for knowing and following the COLREGs, no matter how big or small your vessel is. The COLREGs aren't just a checklist, they're a guide. Your brain is the final decision maker. If following a rule to the letter would cause a crash, you're supposed to break the rule to avoid the crash. That's not just allowed, it's required. Safety always comes first. When you're out on the water, you're part of a global fleet. That means you share responsibility with everyone else to keep things safe and smooth. Rule 1 is the glue that holds this community together. By following it, you help make sure everyone gets home without a scratch. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned sailor or a first-time paddle boarder. Rule 1 applies to you. There are no exceptions, no excuses. If you're on the water, you're in the game. That's what keeps everyone safe and the waterways running smoothly. At the end of the day, common sense is your best tool on the water. The rules are there to guide you, but your judgment is what keeps you and others safe. If something feels wrong, trust your instincts and act to avoid danger. That's what Rule 1 is all about. Let's say you're out on a busy river that leads to the sea. There are fishing boats, jet skis, and even a cargo ship passing through. Everyone is following Rule 1, so everyone knows what's expected. That shared understanding keeps things organized and safe even when the water gets crowded. Learning the COLREGs might seem overwhelming at first, but Rule 1 makes it simple. If you're on the water, you need to know the basics. Start with Rule 1 and you'll have a solid foundation for everything else. It's the first step to becoming a confident and responsible boater. Don't think Rule 1 is just for captains of giant ships. It applies to everyone from kayakers to cruise ship crews. If you're on the water, you're part of the system. That's what makes the COLREG so effective. Everyone is included and everyone is responsible. Rule 1 reminds us not to be robots. The rules are the foundation, but your brain is the final decision maker. If following a rule would cause a crash, you're expected to avoid the crash, even if it means breaking the rule. That's not just allowed, it's required. The ultimate goal of Rule 1 is to avoid accidents. Whether you're in a crowded harbor or out on the open sea, your top priority is safety. The rules help, but your actions matter most. Stay alert, stay smart, and always be ready to react to the unexpected. Think of Rule 1 as the foundation of a house. Without it, the rest of the COLREGs wouldn't make sense. It sets the boundaries and makes sure everyone knows the game is on. By understanding Rule 1, you're already ahead of the curve. Rule 1 isn't just about following orders, it's about staying aware and making smart choices. When you're out on the water, keep your eyes open and your mind sharp. That's how you keep yourself and others safe no matter what comes your way. Whether you're out for a relaxing day on the lake or navigating a busy shipping lane, Rule 1 is always in effect. It's the rule that keeps everyone on the same page no matter where you are or what you're doing. That's why it's so important to know and follow it. Rule 1 is about more than just rules, it's about being part of a global community of boaters. When everyone follows Rule 1, the water becomes a safer, friendlier place. It's a simple rule with a big impact, and it's the first step to becoming a responsible mariner. Let's recap. Rule 1 applies to all vessels everywhere the water connects to the sea. There are no exceptions and you're always responsible for safety. Use your judgment, stay alert, and remember that the rules are there to help you, not trip you up. That's the heart of Rule 1. As a boater, you're not just looking out for yourself, you're part of a bigger picture. Rule 1 gives you the responsibility and the power to keep the water safe for everyone. Take it seriously and you'll help make boating better for all. So next time you head out on the water, remember Rule 1, you're part of a global fleet and we all want to get home without a scratch. Follow the rules, use your brain, and enjoy the ride. Stay woke, sail safe, and keep the adventure going.